You know, when you think about Alzheimer's disease, most folks probably conjure up images of the elderly. But Alzheimer's can strike people in the prime of life as well. Cindy Bro knows that firsthand. Her husband was diagnosed with the disease 3 years ago at the age of 40, folks.
I learned at just 49 years old, he's living with early onset Alzheimer's.
Rebecca Doog can no longer experience that. At just 31, she's been diagnosed with a rare form of Alzheimer's, a disease that steals memory and life.
Early onset Alzheimer's, what we're talking about today, is quite rare, but it's not uncommon.
Ken, I don't even know how you begin to process at the age of 29 that you have Alzheimer's.
Yeah, it could happen to anybody, and it don't care how old you are or how many kids you got. And as it was said, there's just no cure right now, so it's very scary.
You're about to meet two sisters who know they could develop Alzheimer's in their 50s, just like their grandmother and their mother did.
It crosses your mind, you know, from time to time, but more often I think I'm concerned with my sister getting it or somebody that I care about.
I'd say almost there's probably a part of every day that it, you know, comes across your thought.
The genetic connection between your husband developing Alzheimer's and his dad.
Yes, it was inherited. It's a gene mutation. So, you know, there wasn't anything that he could do or a special diet or anything like that. It was inevitable, is that what you're saying? Yes, sir.
Purely because of genetics?
Yes, sir. Of the top 10 diseases in of the United States, Alzheimer's ranks 6th. However, there's no prevention, there's no cure, and there is no way to slow it down.
Do I want to, you know, settle down and have kids and run the risk of keeping this disease in the gene pool, or should I not have kids so that I don't run the risk of passing the disease along if it is in fact a genetic disease?
It certainly, you know, is a heavy thing to decide to go ahead and do.
I want to see my daughter walk down the aisle. I want to walk with her and see my son go down the aisle too. You know, there are some times that I have, you know, I sit down and I think things, maybe I should just go to a nursing home and just let the kids and everything, but I don't want that. I want to be with my family.
How do you feel having a round tummy, a little baby growing inside you?
I like it, it's cool. But the awful horror facing Rebecca is that at some point after the baby is born, she will, through no fault of her own, forget its name. At 31, she's one of the youngest ever to have a genetic form of Alzheimer's, a disease usually reserved for the elderly. Her husband, Scott, is devastated.
To really start preparing and managing for it, but that doesn't mean you stop living.
So I don't feel sad and I don't feel regret. I feel blessed that I have this wonderful family and a husband who is extraordinarily wonderful.
I have made a commitment to this beautiful woman that I will live with her forever. So whatever happens, we're definitely doing it together.
The Bill he is now, it's the Bill in some ways that I'm married, but it's just it's a new way of learning, a new way of communicating, but I know, I mean, the love is still there.
She could largely stay the same for a few years, or she could be completely different next year. There's just no way to predict anything. So it really is a case of just realizing that Mom is a fun person to be around and to really enjoy the time that I have with her right now.
We'll have both Rebecca and the baby to look after, but Mum and I will manage. No trouble.
We got closer to each other, right?
Yeah, so much closer. Because we realize that every minute counts now, hey?